In the vast expanse of the Orion Arm, where stars burned like eternal sentinels, the galactic concord had endured for millennia as a fragile alliance of species. But for the last 300 years, it had been shattered by the brutal conflict known as the Veil War. The Zorath Empire, a coalition of silicon-based beings from the crystalline worlds of Zora Prime, clashed relentlessly with the organic hive mind of the Vexari Collective. The Zorath, with their unyielding logic and fleets of diamond-hulled ships, sought to impose order on the chaos of the galaxy. The Vexari, a sprawling network of bioengineered swarms, craved expansion, assimilating worlds into their ever-growing neural web. The war had ravaged hundreds of systems. Planets were cracked open like eggs, their atmospheres bled into the void. Billions perished in plasma storms and neural plagues. But now, after centuries of stalemate, the end was in sight. On the neutral world of Elisera, a lush, terraformed moon orbiting a gas giant, the peace accords were being finalized. Delegates from both sides gathered in the Grand Hall of Unity, a colossal structure carved from iridescent meteorite rock. The air hummed with the low-frequency communications of the Zorath and the pheromone-laden whispers of the Vexari. Among the observers was Captain Alara Voss, a human diplomat from the Terran Federation. Humans were latecomers to the galactic stage, having only achieved faster-than-light travel a mere 50 years prior. They were seen as curiosities, primitive yet resourceful, with their carbon-based bodies and unpredictable emotions. Alara, a tall woman with sharp features and eyes like polished obsidian, stood at the periphery, her uniform crisp and adorned with the Federation's emblem, a blue planet encircled by stars. She watched as the Zorath representative, a towering crystalline figure named Calthor, extended a pseudopod of shimmering quartz toward the Vexari envoy, a pulsating mass of tendrils called Hive Node 47. The veil shall lift, Calthor intoned, its voice a symphony of resonating frequencies. Resources will be shared, borders redrawn. No more assimilation, no more crystallization. Hive Node 47 responded with a burst of bioluminescent pulses. The collective agrees. Growth without conquest. Unity in diversity. The hall erupted in a cacophony of approvals from neutral species. The avian diplomats of the ether flock chirped melodies, while the amphibious traders of the Merc clans bubbled in excitement. Alara felt a pang of relief. As a Federation liaison, her role was to ensure humanity's interests were protected in this new era of peace. The Terran worlds, scattered across a dozen colonies, had suffered peripheral damage from the war, raiding parties mistaking human outposts for enemy supply lines. But with peace, trade could flourish, and humanity could finally integrate fully into the Concord. Yet, as the ceremony concluded with the signing of the Digital Pact, a holographic seal binding both empires, Alara's communicator buzzed. It was a priority message from Earth Command. Her heart sank as she read it. Urgent. Anomalous signal detected in Veil Sector. Zorath Vexari's ceasefire violated. Investigate immediately. She slipped away from the hall, her mind racing. The war was ending, or so everyone thought. The Veil Sector was a nebula-shrouded graveyard of shattered worlds, where the fabric of space-time warped from countless wormhole detonations. Alara's ship, the Odyssey, a sleek Federation cruiser equipped with quantum drives and adaptive shields, pierced the colorful haze like a dagger. Her crew, a mix of humans and a few allied aliens, monitored sensors with tense vigilance. "Captain," said Lieutenant Marco Reyes, her second-in-command, a burly man with a scar across his cheek from a pirate skirmish. "Scans show debris fields consistent with recent battle. Energy signatures match Zorath plasma cannons and Vexari biospores." Alara frowned at the holographic display. But the accords were signed hours ago. Who fired first? As they approached the epicenter, a distress beacon flared to life. It was from a Zorath scout vessel, the Crystal Lance. Alara ordered a docking maneuver, and soon she and a security team beamed aboard the crippled ship. The interior was a labyrinth of fractured quartz corridors, lit by flickering emergency glows. They found Calthor, or what remained of it, shattered into fragments in the command chamber. A holographic recording played on loop. Hive Node 47's tendrils lashing out, unleashing a neural virus that corroded the Zoratha's crystalline structure. Betrayal. Kelther's voice echoed. The Vexery strike first. Alera's team recovered data logs confirming the attack. But something nagged at her. The Vexery were opportunistic, yes, but why sabotage peace now? She transmitted the findings back to the Concord, igniting outrage. Zorath fleets mobilized. Vexery hives swarmed in defense. The war reignited with ferocious intensity. Back on the Odyssey, Alera convened her officers. This doesn't add up. The accords were mutually beneficial. Why throw it away? Ensign Lyra, a young xenobiologist with augmented neural implants, piped up. Captain, the neural virus in the logs, it's not standard Vexery. There's a human codon sequence embedded in it. Alera's blood ran cold. Human involvement? The Federation had strict neutrality policies. But whispers of rogue elements, corporate syndicates hungry for war profits, had circulated for years. Their investigation led them to a hidden asteroid base in the sector's fringes. Disguised as a mining outpost, it housed the Black Helix Corporation, a shadowy human conglomerate specializing in biotech weapons. Alera's team infiltrated under cloak, navigating zero-grav tunnels lined with cryopods and gene splicers. In the core chamber, they confronted Dr. Harlan Voss, Alera's estranged brother. He stood amid holographic schematics, his face gaunt and eyes feverish. Alera, you shouldn't be here. Harlan, what have you done? She demanded, phaser drawn. He laughed bitterly. Change the rules, sister. The war was ending, and with it, our irrelevance. Humans are ants in this galaxy, ignored, stepped on. But Black Helix saw opportunity. We engineered the virus to mimic Vexery tech, framed them for attacking the Zorath. Now, both sides beg for our neutral aid. Weapons contracts, resource claims, will rise as the dominant force. Alera's mind reeled. Harlan had always been ambitious, resenting their parents' diplomatic legacy. But this? Genocide for profit? Security alarms blared as Black Helix guards swarmed in. A firefight erupted. Phaser bolts scorching walls, guards dropping in heaps. Alera and her team fought their way out, but Harlan escaped in a shuttle, broadcasting a manifesto. Humanity will no longer kneel. We dictate the terms now. The revelation spread like wildfire. Concord investigators confirmed human tampering. Zorath and Vexery, united in fury, turned their fleets toward Terran space. The war, once binary, now engulfed a third player. The middle phase of the renewed conflict was a maelstrom of shifting alliances and desperate gambles. Alera, branded a traitor by association, went rogue with the Odyssey. She rallied a coalition of disillusioned humans, scientists, pilots, and colonists who rejected Black Helix's madness. Their base, a derelict space station orbiting a rogue planet, hidden in the Veil's electromagnetic storms. Harlan, meanwhile, consolidated power. Black Helix unveiled their arsenal, hybrid weapons fusing Zorath crystals with Vexery biotech. Crystal spores that infected ships, turning them into mindless drones. Human pilots, augmented with neural links, commanded fleets with unprecedented precision. The corporation's logo, a twisting double helix, became a symbol of terror. The first major battle unfolded at the Nexus Gate, a wormhole hub connecting core systems. Zorath dreadnoughts, their hulls refracting laser fire, clashed with Vexery biocarriers spewing acidic swarms. Into the fray plunged Black Helix's armada, sleek, black vessels with adaptive armor that shifted between crystalline and organic states. Alera watched from afar, her ship cloaked. We can't let them win, she told Reyes. If Harlan controls the gate, he'll choke the galaxy's trade routes. They struck surgically, hacking into Helix comms to broadcast evidence of the frame-up. Doubts seeped into enemy ranks, some human pilots defected, their consciences stirred. But Harlan countered with a propaganda wave. Humans first. The aliens would enslave us. The battle raged for days. Ships exploded in silent fireballs, debris fields choking the void. Alera's team boarded a Helix flagship, the Dominion, planting explosives in its core reactor. In the engine room, she faced Harlan again. "You're fighting the inevitable, Alera," he sneered, flanked by cybernetic guards. "Peace made us weak. War forges empires." "No," she retorted. "War destroys. And you've turned us into monsters." A brutal melee ensued, Alera dodging augmented fists, her phaser humming. She wounded Harlan, but he activated a self-destruct, forcing her escape. The Dominion detonated, crippling the Helix fleet. The Zoreth and Vexery pressed the advantage, pushing back the humans. Yet the war evolved. Black Helix released the Apex virus, a pandemic engineered to target non-human physiology. Zoreth crystals cracked from within, Vexery hives withered. Planets fell silent. Alera's coalition raced to develop a countermeasure, scavenging labs across war-torn worlds. In a daring raid on Zora Prime, Alera allied with Calther's successor, a reformed crystalline entity named Thaler. "Your kind's treachery knows no bounds," Thaler rumbled. "Not all of us," Alera pleaded. "Help me end this." Together, they stole Helix data cores, uncovering Harlan's endgame, a superweapon called the Rule Breaker, a device to rewrite reality at the quantum level, bending physics to favor human dominance. It was being assembled on Earth's moon, Luna Base. The coalition mobilized for a final assault. Fleets converged, Zoreth prisms slicing through space, Vexery tendrils weaving shields, and Alera's ragtag human ships darting like hornets. The ending came amid the craters of Luna, where the Rule Breaker hummed like a caged singularity. Harlan, scarred and augmented with crystalline implants, oversaw the activation. "With this, we redefine the galaxy. No more rules but ours." Alera's infiltration team breached the base, navigating laser grids and drone patrols. In the control chamber, siblings clashed one last time. "You could join me," Harlan urged, his voice modulated by tech. "Rule together." Alera shook her head. "I'd rather save what you've broken." Their duel was fierce, phasers clashing with energy blades, the room shaking from orbital bombardments above. Alera disarmed him, but Harlan triggered a failsafe. The Rule Breaker began to pulse, warping gravity. Alarms wailed. "It's destabilizing," Rhea shouted over comms. With Thaler and HiveNode 47's remnants providing cover fire outside, Alera overloaded the device. Harlan lunged, but she fired point-blank, his body crumpling. The explosion was cataclysmic, a ripple tearing through space-time. But instead of destruction, it reset the anomalies, erasing the virus, mending fractured worlds. The war's scars faded, as if the rules had been unchanged. In the aftermath, the Concord reconvened on Elisera. Alera stood trial for humanity's sins but was exonerated, her actions hailed as redemption. Black Helix was dismantled, its leaders scattered. The Zoreth and Vexery, humbled, forged a true peace. Humans, chastened, earned a seat at the table, not as conquerors but equals. As Alera gazed at the stars from her ship, she whispered, "The war ended, because we remembered the rules matter." But in the shadows, whispers lingered. Had the Rule Breaker truly been destroyed? Or did a fragment survive, waiting for the next ambitious soul?